So issue 25 of Go-Go Power Rangers was quite a interesting issue. Now this issue was mostly setting up and planting the seeds of future stuff to happen in Go-Go Power Rangers, and of course later down the line in Mighty Morphin. Well, the stuff that we've seen in Mighty Morphin has already happened, like the forming of the Omega Rangers, but this issue is like a prequel to all of that stuff. You actually get to see how it happens, and it also plants for some stuff that happens in the TV show that we all know about, which is also really cool. If you're a fanboy like me or a fan of Power Rangers, then you can definitely see what they're planting here and there. And if you get the little references, it's also really cool. So, issue 25 of Go-Go Power Rangers, let's talk about it right now. But anyway guys, before we get into this review for issue 25 of Go-Go Power Rangers, remember to slap that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, it really means a lot to me. Anyway guys, on with the review, no more delays. So there's one thing I really did like about this issue. It's nice to see the gang all back together. I mean, we even get to see Tommy in this issue, and it's Tommy basically coping with the loss of his powers. You see him at his uncle's place training, and he plans on going to Hong Kong with his uncle, but he's whisked away by Zordon, offering to become a brand new Power Ranger with the power of light, or the white light, whatever it's called. But basically, Tommy is going to be going on a quest to get his brand new powers, but how we get there is also very interesting. So, I gotta say, right off the bat, like I said, this was interesting, well not interesting, it was nice seeing the old team again, because last month was a Bulk and Skull focused issue, and although it was a really cool issue, it's nice to have the team back together, getting into the action on the Necessary Evil. So issue 24, whether you liked it or you didn't, it was a good breather for all the stuff that issue 25 is planting later down the line in the comic arc of Necessary Evil. So things are being planted here and there for future stuff that is going to be happening in Mighty Morphin Necessary Evil that started in issue 40 to now, which is also really cool. And I really do like stuff like that, where things are planted here and there for the reader to catch on if they're paying attention. So Jason is still trying to decide how he's going to form a team of Power Rangers, and the Blue Emissary is like, hey, I can find a bunch of warriors in space, I can find the finest warriors for you. And Jason's like, no, we don't really need any of that stuff, because a team of Rangers should know each other, they should get along, and they should be able to work together. So he's sort of hinting at who is going to be joining him later down the line, and we kind of know who joins Jason in the Omega Rangers later down the line, which is Trini and Zach, which is really cool to see how they find Jason becoming, well, not Jason becoming the Omega Ranger, his little search for more Rangers going down, because they kind of walk in on him looking for like the other stuff. So this issue takes place mostly in the White Light 3-parter. I think it's a 3-parter or a 2-parter, but basically this issue takes place during the whole White Light stuff, where Alpha and Zordon go missing. Billy finds out they're creating a brand new Ranger, and this issue is sort of like the padding in between all that stuff happening, which is also really cool to see. I mean, we're exploring what happens to the Rangers as they tried finding where Zordon and Alpha went. And one of them that's really cool is when in the TV show Billy sort of like falls through and finds the secret room, but in this issue they sort of retcon it in a way. Well, I guess they're not going to retcon it, I guess they're going to make sure Billy finds the hole through the floor, which he witnesses the brand new Ranger being made. But Billy actually went to Grace in this issue, which took me by surprise. Grace that we saw in Beyond the Grid and in Mighty Morphin, Grace is back, so it's cool to see Grace having a presence in Go-Go Power Rangers. She made a small little cameo in the end of the Shattered Grid stuff for Go-Go back in the day, where Ranger Slayer found her, or she found Ranger Slayer. But it's cool to see Grace in Go-Go. Now, they didn't address any of the Beyond the Grid stuff, which I hope they do. I don't know if they will, but I'm hoping we get hints towards it, because I'm wondering if the effects of Beyond the Grid had some sort of impact in Necessary Evil moving forward. We have no idea if Beyond the Grid is going to get retconned or forgotten about, but it's just cool to see Grace, and Grace is like, yo Billy, I know you turned down that internship like a year ago, but you're welcome to join us anytime, the doors are open. And Billy's like, I'll keep that in mind. So that's an interesting thing about Billy in this issue. I also like the stuff we got with Tommy in this issue, because it was Tommy, like when he got offered to become the White Ranger, saying, hey, you're going to go on a quest to get brand new powers. Tommy was sort of turning it down, saying, hey, why don't you just give the powers to someone else, find someone new? Are you sure you want to ask me, because you said I could never become a ranger again, or my green powers are gone for good, and stuff like that. So it's cool to see Tommy actually, he had second thoughts about going on this quest to get his brand new powers, which we kind of know he's going to go on a quest. I just want to see what that quest is going to be about. I mean, they've sort of hinted at stuff happening on this quest, saying they can't let Lord Zed find out, which I kind of understand now, because they have teased that Tommy is going to fight Lord Zed while on this quest. And Zordon did say if Lord Zed finds out what we're after and he gets a hold of it, things are going to be very, very dangerous for the entire universe. So you've got to be very discreet and quiet about this, or the universe is doomed. But also in the shadows, well, not in the shadows, out in the open, Lord Zed is planning something. What he's done, he's basically set up this statue monster that is oozing out goo throughout the city. Well, the statue is oozing out goo, and the rangers are just keeping an eye on it. They're like running around seeing what's weird, stuff like that. So whatever this goo monster is probably going to be the brand new monster of the day. I don't know if this goo monster that's like the statue goo monster is actually an actual Power Ranger monster. I can't remember the entire White Light storyline. I might have to rewatch it after recording this video to re-jog my memory, but it sounds like what Lord Zed is doing, he's setting up stuff while the Rangers are running around, and they're just trying to find Zordon and Alpha. So like while they're trying to find Zordon and Alpha, other stuff is going on in the background, which if you pay attention to, sounds like some big stuff. Also, I want to correct myself on two things I mumbled about during the review. That is, White Light was actually a two-parter looking at the wiki, and the thing that Lord Zed is setting up with the statues in the park and the goo monsters, that is the monster Nimrod and AC/DC, I think it's called, or AC/DC. You know what I mean, that's what their name was. But I'm really, really interested to see when that monster forms, because I thought that was an original monster, but I totally forgot about Nimrod and AC/DC. They were, I'm not going to say they're forgettable, but they are very interesting monsters that they are setting up, and I never caught on to that, because those are the monsters that attack when White Light happens. So once again, that is really cool. Just a nice little reference that Ryan is setting up throughout the freaking comic. And speaking of references, Goldar's brother also gets referenced in this issue when Goldar and Zed are training. Like, Zed says to Goldar, saying, do you want to end up like your brother? Which is a nice little reference that like Ryan or Sinner slipped in through the dialogue right there. So once again, props to like the writers on this comic for slipping in the references here and there that you blink and you miss it, but if you understand it, it's just a nice little hint. Because if I remember correctly, Goldar's brother did work for Lord Zed. Another character that's important to take note of is the Blue Emissary, because the Blue Emissary is helping Jason set up the Omega Rangers. And the Blue Emissary has this important piece of dialogue where he says he doesn't know what to do. Usually he's guided by his master, but he's not doing that right now. He's acting on his own, which is like I said, an interesting bit of dialogue. So what is the the Blue Emissary planning? Because he's not with the other emissaries, like the red and the yellow one. He's off doing his own thing. So what are they doing right now during this whole necessary evil thing in the past and in the present? Because something is going down with those emissaries, because they said they wanted to make a change. And I get the feeling the blue one is acting on his own without the others knowing, or maybe predictions, maybe he killed them, who knows. Like, I get the feeling the Blue Emissary is going to go crazy eventually because he wants to protect the universe. He thinks he's doing the right thing. He's like the Zordon of the group. He doesn't seem that weird, but he's like this old, wiser version of Zordon where he's saying, Zordon, you didn't fail the Earth, we all look up to you. I know you have doubts and you feel like you failed yourself with the whole Rita stuff, which is brought up again. Zordon saying how I failed to bring Rita to the side of light, which has been brought up a few times here and there, where Rita was once a good person and then she turned evil. So I want to see more of that backstory between Rita and Zordon. I get the feeling we'll see it in issue 28, but it was brought up once again, which is really, really interesting. I'll say that. But if there's one bit of dialogue I really, really did like in this comic, and that is on page 6, where Jason and the Blue Emissary are talking, and the Blue Emissary says to Jason, hey, maybe you should consider recruiting your friends, and Jason's like, no, we'll find new candidates, I don't want to put my friends through stuff like that, and Jason says this really bit of dialogue that I did enjoy that caught me by surprise, saying, like, Jason said he'll join his cause and help him out if he finds a way to repower Tommy. And the Blue Emissary says, we've got a solution, but you might not like it, but whatever the solution is, you're not going to be the leader of the Power Rangers once this is done, which is a good way to pad out the whole Tommy becoming the new Ranger of the Power Rangers after Jason or Austin St. John left the show, which is really interesting, like how he said, you won't be the leader once this is done, which I really did like that bit of dialogue, because he doesn't have a bit of shock, but he's just got this determined look on his face where he's sweating from all the visions he's seeing, and Jason says, whatever it takes. So Jason's willing to step down from being a leader of the Power Rangers to help the Blue Emissary, to also get Tommy his powers back in whatever way this is, which is the quest that he'll be going on in the next few issues. So that was a really interesting page I read when doing the live reaction. I mean, it had me tongue-tied when I was first reading it, like I couldn't even spout out the Blue Emissary's final bit of words saying how he'll no longer be the leader once this is done. But anyway guys, I've rambled on enough. Issue 25 was a solid issue, and if you understood all the references and the stuff they're setting up for like later stuff down the line in Go-Go Power Rangers with their part of Necessary Evil, I'm really excited, because I'm guessing after White Light and they do that parter and they do the power transfer, because I'm guessing all they've got left to do for Necessary Evil telling it after White Light, they've got to do Ninja Encounter, just retell that in its own way, and the power transfer, which I get the feeling they'll maybe skip over and narrate it, but I wonder if we're going to see a different way how Rocky, Adam and Aisha join the team. I know I've said that a few times, but I get the feeling we're getting closer and closer to how they join the team, because Jason's recruiting Zach and Trini, so he's going to have to find replacements later down the line. So I wonder if they're going to retcon how they actually joined and retell it. So I guess we'll find out. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap up this review of Go-Go Power Rangers issue 25. If you enjoyed this review, slap that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys around.